Hello everybody, it's Samurai again, and today we're going to have a deeper look into ways to build manufacturers. And man oh man, are there a lot of different possibilities. So, I hope you're going to enjoy the video. As always, if you want to see more like that, press the thumbs up, subscribe to support the channel, and press the bell icon to not miss any videos. Let me start with a short disclaimer. Coffee Stain Studio unveiled pretty awesome looking new manufacturers, which are going to come in the game around February. So they are a little bit higher, you might want to plan for them. That just as a heads up. Oh yeah, if you are one of those awesome people who look for a Satisfatory video and choose my video to watch, really? Well, thank you, and the rest of the video is like, yeah, that's how manufacturers look back in the days. Enjoy! So let's start with the size of them. A manufacturer is 18 meters times 17 meters. The belts are a little bit offset, so they are a little bit less than those 18 meters, which is a little bit weird, but that's the way it is. And the manufacturer is 2 foundations, so 8 meters high. So you're going to have something extra above those 2 foundations to build a roof over the manufacturers. At the start, we're going to glance over a few ways to build them. You can place the splitters at the bottom, or you can raise the splitters and connect the manufacturers with lifts. It's pretty basic. I'm not going to explain how to build them. I think everybody can figure that out. Just leave enough room between the belts and everything should be fine. Even more basic is to stack the splitters in the middle of them. About the same we already did. I just raised the splitters a little bit higher so I can connect each splitter with an lift. And yeah, it's the same thing we already did. Next up are 2 vertical builds. The first one are 3 manufacturers stacked above each other, the second one are 2 stacked. Let's look a little bit in depth to those. So we're going to need some foundations. I placed them already, you can see at the side the spacing I did. And of course we need to place the manufacturers. So the first row is just 3, 5, 6, 17, however many you want. The row one above each of them needs to be offset 2 meters. So the lifts can go through each other. If you have a third row above them, just place them like the first one. And remember to leave enough space below them, so 3 foundations high should be fine. So let's start with the splitters. We need to let a little bit room, so build them at the edge of the second foundation and align them with one of the middle outputs. I chose the middle right. You can do the left too, it worked better for me that way. So next up are the lifts. We're going to lower the lifts, the belts with the lifts from the top and bottom manufacturer always to the same height, and have each additional output 1 higher, so 2 ticks higher. That way we should get a staircase like that. And we're going to do that for all of our manufacturers, of course. Here we go. So next up it's just connecting the belts with the splitters. It's pretty straightforward, so I take the first lift to the front side and I take the second lift to the left side, and do this with each additional level. And we're going to repeat this with the other splitters as well, of course. Lastly, we only need to connect the splitters with themselves. I do it like that because I think it gives a nice look or something special. Of course, if you want to build a wall of manufacturers on each side, you could have a second splitter stack and have them going to both sides and have them like that. It's just whatever you like. So next up are 3 manufacturers stacked. So we built the splitters just like we did the first time, just this time we're going to place them right smack in the middle between each outputs and not center with one of the middle ones. So next up is building the lifts. That's also the same way we did with this 2 stacked. So we just place them and have them with the staircase effect like we did. So we need to connect those with the splitters as well. Also here we are doing the same thing we did with the 2 floors. So the first one is always going in the middle, the second one is always going to the left. So that has been the bottom 2 manufacturers. Next is the 3rd floor. That's where it gets a little bit more complicated. So we're going to lower the lift, and the 3rd lift we have to leave a little bit higher, so 2 ticks higher or 2 meters higher. Otherwise we won't be able to build them. Then we build an additional lift minimal height on the first one and let them go to the side. And on the 3rd one we're also going to build 3 additional lifts. Just look the way I do it here. It's all so we can get the belt to the other side where we're going to need it. So the rest is pretty straightforward. We build lifts again, have them 1 tick higher than the other lifts on the same floor, and connect them with the right side of the splitters. Lastly, we build a lift from the top splitter and connect them with the first floor. Well, like that. Repeat this 3 times like that, and we have a finished build. Next up, I'm going to show you how to place the belts below the manufacturers. So as you can see, we built manufacturers on 2 foundations and left 1 foundation room between them. Next thing, we brought down the lifts between the manufacturers, and now we're going to place the splitters. So first, on the first outputs we're going to place 2, then 1, leave 1 room and place 1 more to the back side. And we're going to repeat this for each manufacturer, of course. I have done the same thing on the other side, mirrored, of course. Next is placing the splitters above those, because we want to have them raised from the floor. And we need to build a merger for the output, of course, too. Make sure they're faced in the right direction, and they need to be centered exactly on the middle of those two foundations. Then you have to place them far away from, or the right position from the manufacturers. Triple them up, and then we're going to delete everything that is not the top splitter or merger. Oh, those should be only two. Yeah, like that. Let's connect the mergers with lifts real quick, and then we're going to place belts between the splitters and the mergers. Lastly, we need to connect the splitters with the lifts from the manufacturers, of course. So we start on the side with the lifts, and first is just the belt directly in the lift. The second one we can connect with a lift, and we're going to repeat this for each manufacturer again. Always a belt and a lift. The other side is a little bit more difficult, but not really that much. So we start to build the lift from the higher splitters, and then going to connect the others with belts. So we have to lower the belt first, and then we just put them in the lifts on the other side. You see, not really that difficult if you do it right. So let's try this again. Place them down. The correct length, by the way, is the shortest way you can put them down plus 1 meter. Then you have straight to the lift. And that's actually it. So, manufacturers with belts going below them. A little bit more difficult with the assemblers, but still pretty much doable because we just have the more room under them. Next up is the most compact build I know of. By that way, thanks to Naresh963 on my Discord for showing me that. It was really awesome way to build them. Of course, head over to the Discord, share your screenshot. I'm always thankful for each new idea and new thing I see. So join our community, I would be glad to greet you there. But now let's see how to build this. So we place our manufacturers and leave 2 meters room between them. And to the next manufacturers in front of them, we're going to leave 4 meters room. For each additional manufacturer you want to build, you do the same thing again. Next we need to build the splitter on merger, so we start with a splitter right between those manufacturers. At the last manufacturers we're going to build just a merger. Then we're going to double up the splitters and place a merger on top of those. Make sure you have the outputs and inputs in the right direction. And then we're going to place 2 more splitters on top of those. So, yeah, like those. So, that's basically all. Now it's just placing power poles and connecting the belt. We always connect the first 2 belts just directly and the other ones we're going to connect with the elevators. So yeah, merger is the first and then the two inputs, and that's repeated on the other side, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that's as compact as it gets. Well, for vanilla at least, because I have one more mod in petto, and that's the advanced logistics mod. So it allows us to place adjustables, mergers and splitters, where we can choose what ratios we want to have. We could use them as priority splitters as well, but this time we're going to make sure that we have the right ratios for our manufacturers. So we need 3 mergers because we have 4 input projects and mergers only 3. So we need to do that in 2 steps. And then we're going to connect them to adjustable splitters. And each manufacturer, yes, only needs 1 line going in because we're going to do it over the ratios. So we set the correct numbers. So the first pin we have the connectors. We need 3 of those per supercomputer. On the next we have computers, so if we need 2 of those, then we're going to have the AI limiter. We need 2 of those again, and the last is the plastics. We're going to need 21. We set the splitter on weight. That way we make sure that it only goes to the next item if it has every item from the first kind, and we have perfect ratios. So next we're going to go to the splitters and add all the items. That's 28, and make sure 28 items go in the first merger and 2 times that, so 56 go to the next splitter. Yeah, we don't need the last splitter, we can just connect it directly. 28, perfect. Yeah, and that's it. Now we can connect the containers. And we see we have the perfect ratios. The splitter is waiting. 21, 3, 2, 2, 21, 3, 2, 2. And sorting that in the manufacturers, which will work, of course. And are producing us our supercomputers without any bottlenecks happening. If a machine is full, which will happen, the splitter in front of it just will block its output and wait till there's room again. We will see this in a second. Yeah, here it is. So, as you see, the outputs are full, and it waits to have room again to continue. So the ratios are always kept, and that's why this is working pretty well. That's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe to help the channel, it would really help. And press the bell icon to don't miss any more of my videos. See ya!